Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art Sri Lanka is a bold new initiative, which is to try and establish a permanent museum for modern and contemporary art. The country has over 120 museums, but none of them focus on modern contemporary art. So this is a great moment to be able to bring the attention that so richly is deserved of our modern and contemporary artists, but also to bring a museum to the city to create this amazing cultural offer. And we are now based in a place where I hope so many people are going to be able to come and see us, because we're really accessible. We're now based at the Crescat Boulevard, and it means that we can have people come and see us because there's so much going on here, and they can combine it with having a drink or taking a bite to eat or doing their shopping. So for us, and our real priority being to try and make art in terms of the museum we're building as accessible as possible, being in a public space is absolutely essential. And we're also in a vicinity where we have at least 6 or 7 schools all within walking distance. So again, a huge plus, and why we feel that this is going to be, the start of a really positive kind of location and relationship with this part of the city. What do we do though as a museum? We are in a very early stage. We are planning to do many things that are not just going to take place inside the gallery. We want to engage with, as I've already mentioned, schools. We want to be able to engage with the general public, and we do that through many events. And a lot of the things that go on alongside our exhibitions are events that are encouraging people to come and visit. And I think for a lot of people, modern and contemporary art are things that they just feel are not for them, or they think it's very complicated. But what we're trying, I suppose, in our programming to do is to say it's not that complicated, and if it is, we find it as complicated as well. And what we do as a museum is we are trying to show artists who are from the histories of Sri Lanka's, rich heritage from the modern period and the contemporary. And that is a period of time that's over 100 years now, when we think about art that was made from the turn of the century. And 100 years is a long time, but it's also a period of time where if we don't set up a museum, that work is going to deteriorate, because the climate in Sri Lanka is such that works of art, well, you name it, a book is just going to, fall apart. So this is one of the things that, of course, is important for a museum to look after and conserve art. Eventually, we'd love to collect art and have our own collection, but for the time being, we are making exhibitions where we are borrowing art, and we're borrowing them from important collections, whether that's private or the corporate sector or foundations. And the current exhibition, which is our second exhibition, which is called Encounters, starts from the point of view of borrowing 6 artworks from 2 of the country's most important collections of art, well known but not well understood, because most of the collection in those 2 collections. We're borrowing work from 2 of the country's most important collections of art, and they're well known by name, which is the George Keat Foundation collection and the John Keel's collection. But people really don't know what's in them because they're not accessible to the public. So this is a very rare opportunity and a great one, and we are very, very grateful to both of those organizations for believing in us, trusting in us, and lending the works. And we have chosen 6 in total. We are really grateful to these 2 institutions for lending these works to us. We have chosen 6 works in total from these 2 collections, and we have curated around those 6 artworks displays. And what we are doing is having an exhibition that will go on for a stretch of 6 months. So there's plenty of opportunity to come in and look at the work. And we have 6 displays. And like lots of museums around the world, they do rotations. And rotations that happen because museums have collections and they can't show all of it at one time. So they might only show at a given point in time a percentage, 2%, 3% of their collection, and we're adopting something similar in the strategy of showing what we are. So we're having 3 displays which will be on view for a period of 2 months, and then we will change one of those displays and introduce another rotation. So the public is going to be able to see work over the course of 6 months, which includes some really interesting pairings, because what we're doing with Encounters is we brought together the 6 works that we've chosen into a conversation with either one other artwork, or it might be a selection of artworks. And each of these displays are totally independent of one another, and they explore all kinds of themes, from friendship and love to the non-aligned summit, to the environment, to areas which we think will appeal to a very broad sector of the public. And what we do too is, with the public programs, we are making sure that as much as possible, those that are coming to see our exhibitions are guided, they're given the information that they need, they have an opportunity to ask questions. Our group of visitor educators are there to facilitate any kind of conversation or to help them with the information that, as I say, they need. And all of this has been done really with the huge support of a number of funders, and I really want to just make a small call out to their generosity, which are, you know, the people that have made this all possible. Asian Hotel Holdings are the people that have made it possible for us to be here at Crescat. The John Keels Foundation are a major benefactor, as are the Nations Trust Bank, as are the Foundation for Arts Initiatives. And in particular, we have been supported by the Dutch Embassy as well in our learning and our training programs, because so much of what we're doing as a museum here is also being done for the first time. We don't have staff and expertise in the country. We do, but it's not enough. And so perhaps, let's say, 80% of the work that we do is training and getting people to learn on the job and figure out quite a lot of the kinds of activities that they need to do for a museum to function. So over the course of 6 months, there's plenty of opportunity for people to come in to experience something that we hope is going to be very memorable in terms of a museum experience. I would encourage people to come back through the course of the exhibition, to come to Crescat Boulevard, come and find us on the ground floor, you won't miss us, and to come numerous times, because this exhibition is changing over the course of 6 months. And when you come in, think about how this small corner of Crescat Boulevard holds the possibility of all the potential that we could have if we were to create a museum of modern and contemporary art in Sri Lanka.